So can I tell you a fun story?
Of course.
So my colleague, Dr. Tanvi Gautam, was the founder of the Women in Leadership program at Singapore Management University. And she saw my work and said, could you come in? I want you to help me with. So the first cohort we did together, well, she did the first 2 days, solo, and then she brought me in. And the first time she brought me in and she gave me this big introduction, this name of Bryant, he's an author, he's an expert on self-leadership, blah, 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 and I could just feel, the resistance in the room as she said this, right? And I managed to do what I needed to do. I overcame it. But the next cohort that she got in, I said, look, Tanvi, I don't want you to introduce me. She said, well, I need to let that. I said, no, you don't. I said, I'm going to come in after lunch. I said, I'm just going to come into the auditorium. I'm just going to sit down. You come in, start the class, and just welcome the class back, and then just sit there. She goes, really? You want to do that? I said, yeah. So, the women come back from lunch and they're all bonded. They've done all their avatars and their internal journeys, and they've had their Kleenex moments, and they're really bonded as a group. And there's this white guy in a suit sitting in the auditorium. And a couple of the women would say hello, and some people look at me suspiciously. Tanvi comes in and sits down and doesn't say anything. And then, there's the chatter of an auditorium, and then the room gets quieter and quieter. And then I stand up. And I just stand in the middle of the room and just hold the space. And you can cut the air with a knife. And then I said, you have in your mind created at least 3 adjectives to describe me. Turn to the person next to you and share those 3 adjectives. And then we'll share them together. It's what kind of adjectives do you think they came up with?
Egotistical?
Yes. Arrogant, egotistical, confident. Yeah. All of the male. Right. Okay. And I said, thank you. And then I do a quick slideshow. I was a single parent, right? So I'm divorced and remarried. I was a single parent. I do volunteer work for at-risk kids. I've delivered babies in Outback Australia. My first degree is physiotherapy. I'm a mentor to women leaders. And I'm remarried to a beautiful woman. And I show you this quick slide that this is me. Just an aspect of me. Does this change your adjectives?
Yeah.
Half the room said yes. Half the room stuck with their original viewpoint.
Really?
And I said, look, my point is this. What you think about me is none of my business. However, if you want to make a shift, you have to recognize that the very bias that you are fighting against, you are a victim of yourselves.
Yes.
You judged me without knowing me. And I work very hard not to judge you without knowing you. But that is the problem we have to solve.
I love how you made it an experience for them to really reflect, or give them the opportunity to reflect. That's when the lesson can be learned.